For Pierre Olsen, life will never be the same. A huge man lumbered into the circle of firelight, a sort of black haystack with thick, groping arms. His scowling face shone red in the firelight as he elbowed rudely through the crowd. When people turned, scattering, a mutter of alarm ran around the gathering. Shoving forwards, the stranger ramped right up into the pyre and turned, his boots carelessly planted among the glowing ashes. Now he was a black giant against the flames. Everyone stared in uneasy silence. What did he want? He spoke in a high, cracked voice, shrill as a whistle.
I've come for the boy, which is Ulf's son.
After his father dies, Pierre is taken to work in a sinister old mill where creatures, both sly and wicked, dwell. His new caretakers, more monsters than men, treat him as something less than a servant and leave him cold, hungry, and alone while they tramp off into the night towards the secret and forbidden mountain of Trollfell. Alone and desperate, Pierre must find friends and allies quick if he is to survive vile monsters and an even more wicked uncles who have a horrible plan in store for Pierre. Well done, said the old woman. She stretched out her arm to help Pierre off the bridge, and he took hold of her hand and then let go with a cry. It was clammy and wet and webbed. The late moon was rising. He could see more easily, and his eyes had grown used to the dark. She stood there quietly at the end of the plank, leaning on her stick, and he saw now that her long skirt and cloak were not damp, but wet. They were soaking wet. How'd she gotten so wet? The hair rose on his neck as he began to suspect, and she raised her arms, pulling her scarf away from her head in fronds of trailing weed. She smiled, and even in the starlight, he could see her teeth were sharp points. Pierre's knees actually knocked together, and his hands shook. How could he have been so foolish? He had come up here with Granny Greenteeth herself. Life has become a frantic battle against monsters and his own kin for Pierre, as he desperately tries to escape a fate worse than death. But in order to save new friends, what is he willing to do? A vertical black slit ran down the rock face, a split widening into a gash. They smelled sparks. The soles of their feet tickled as the ground trembled. The stone door opened. A thick slab of rock, higher than a man, swinging slowly inwards. No golden light shone from it now. Behind it was nothing but a gaping darkness. Sucking in a huge gasp of cold, fresh air, filling his lungs as if it were the last breath he would ever take, Pierre turned his back on the sunrise and followed Hilda into Trollfell. Want to learn more about what happened to Pierre? Then pick up author Catherine Langrish's Trollfell and find out.